Hi everyone, Happy New Year. As I'm recording this message, it's the 1st of January 2026, just in case you're listening to this at a later stage. I just want to reach out and wish you all a wonderful, blissful, joyful new year. I hope it's going to be an awesome year for you with lots of beautiful experiences with your loved ones. I spontaneously decided to make a recording here today because when I woke up this morning, I had an email in my inbox, the very first email that I received in the new year. And it was from someone who had signed up with the studio many years ago, even before I was teaching there, quite a number of years before I started teaching there. And the person has never attended a yoga class, but must have signed up for a reason. And so they are on our email distribution list. So they must have received my newsletters. And the email went approximately like this. I deleted it and interestingly now can't find it anymore in my inbox, but they let me know that they are a member of the Greek Orthodox Church and that it has recently come to their awareness that practicing the yogic posture, I hope I get this right, the way they expressed it, practicing the yogic postures and consequently me teaching yogic postures would invite satanic gods or energy into their environment, maybe even into their body. And they said that they wish I would receive the light of the Lord Jesus Christ. And along the way, that essentially it would bring me forgiveness and would bring me, or would essentially save me. So unknowingly, they opened up a, let's say, Pandora's box because, or maybe not Pandora's box, but that person obviously doesn't know me at all. And which is fine. And I'm not judging their approach. I'm not judging where they're coming from. I understand they have their own approach to spirituality, to religion, to life. However, I thought I will use this to speak into something, and this may be triggering, but it may not be. It might even be eyes opening. So, first of all, it showed me again that there's a very, 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 very misconstrued perception of what yoga is out there when we haven't really dived into yoga and what it really is beyond what we practice on the mat. We have a very limited, extremely limited view of what yoga is. And I'm not blaming anyone because it's also our society that pictures or shows yoga in a certain way. I mean, there's so much out there with just showing pictures of skinny people, barely any clothes on, in impossible postures, essentially, where we put our body into knots. And that is, I would say, the majority, or that probably shows what a large part of our society thinks what yoga is. Now, but because he especially, or they especially, made a point about the posture, I thought I'll speak into the posture and what posture is about. Posture is a way of connecting with our body. And many people come to yoga, of course, because they want to release stress, they want peace of mind. They might come to yoga because they have an injury or they have had injuries and they want to heal the injury. So all that is part of it. But the very basic idea, or the first idea of posture, is to sit comfortably in your body. To prepare for meditation, but that's a different story. But to be comfortable in your body, and who wouldn't want to be comfortable in their body? I don't know anyone who would say, "No, I don't want to be comfortable in my body." How they get to that point is a different story, but it is a way of being comfortable in our body. And when we're comfortable in our body, we enjoy life. We can move about life in an easeful and graceful and enjoyable way. When we are pain-free, we are happy. There's no person who's in pain who says they are happy. When we are, so this is on a physical level, when we are pain-free in our heart and our mind, we are happy. And that is what yogic posture allows us to move into. When we release from our body tightness, strains, tension that we have essentially built up through life's experiences, through stress, maybe through injury, we are more able to be graceful easily in our body. When we connect with our own space and we feel at ease in our body, we feel safe in our body, we are peaceful in our heart, our mind can find clarity, we move about life and deal so much differently with challenging situations. So in regard to allowing things into our body through the yogic posture, I understand that there might be people who may see it that way, and maybe even some people would use the yogic practices in order to do that. Maybe, I don't know at all. However, the number one aim for yogic posture is to feel at ease and grace within our body. And I don't see anything evil in that. And so yoga also creates discernment. So we need to understand our body as the container that holds our life. And when we're clear in our body, in our heart, in our mind, we are discerning. We know what energies we want to invite in our life, into our life. And essentially, it is the purification of all that which we have accumulated that is not in resonance with our light, the pure light of awareness, which we can call the soul, the divine spark. We can call it Atman, which is the yogic expression, that pure inner light of awareness. So that shines in every one of us, no matter where we come from, how we identify, no matter what religion we belong to, it doesn't matter. It's the pure divine spark that we all hold, and which can radiate outward through a purified body, heart, and mind so much more brightly than if we hold all that has caused stress in our body, in our heart and mind. And so I want to say something else here in regard to demonic energy, because that is how they expressed it. That brings up fear. That is a general, not in me, but in general, it can bring up fear, because generally people are afraid of that, which is understandable and also healthy. However, yoga helps us to understand our own demons. When we look at it from that point of view and understand that we might hold within us fears, accumulated energies, patterns that are not in resonance with that light, but we also have the power to step away from it, to change patterns, to change behaviors that invite energies that are not necessarily of the light. We take back this space. We can just allow the light that we are shine through that space, and anything else that is not of the light, we can just gracefully shut the door to it. And that is extremely empowering. Okay. And so as we move through the journey of yoga, through the path, and we meet our own demons, our own fears, our own patterns, behaviors that are not in resonance with who we are, our own light, that may express darkness, that may show our shadow. We all have a shadow. We can sit within this container, and through the discernment, through the strength that we have built, we can understand, okay, that is something that I've learned. That is something that I might have absorbed from someone else, because I may actually be too open to other energies. So I can decide that's not mine and I want to release that. And so actively and sovereignly and powerfully create a space in body, heart, and mind that is all in tune, all aligned. And that alone allows energies that are not of the light to stay outside. We have the power to say, no, this is my space. I'm not inviting you in. The last thing I want to say, and this may be quite triggering for some people, is they said in their email that they wish for me to receive the light of Jesus Christ. Now, my question to that is, who says and why would it be that just because someone doesn't go to church or someone practices yoga or even belongs to a different religion is not in or does not have a connection to the Christ light? The Christ light is an energy. The Christ consciousness is an energy that can be accessible to everyone, that can be accessible through the purified heart mind that we create in yoga, that can be accessible within us as we connect to our own inner light. So the Christ consciousness, the Christ light is such a pure frequency that I can hold within my own body, and every single one can hold within their body. And I believe that we can receive that through yoga as well. It is an absolutely extremely high frequency purifying energy that can be held in a purified container. So just because yoga, or let's say Hinduism, and in yoga there are many hundreds of different deities. They all have different characteristics. They stand for different energies. They have different properties, let's say. And some people might call onto this deity. Some people might call onto that deity. And admittedly, that it is their responsibility. And again, it comes back to their discernment as to how they use that energy. And that is personal responsibility, how we deal and how we navigate that energy, how we implement it into life. Do we implement energy for the good of humanity, for the good of the collective, or do we implement it and create it for our own personal gain, right? That is everyone's individual decision. However, just because they're different deities doesn't mean that the light of Christ, the Christ consciousness, is not present within us, or is not present within this realm of practice. Let's put it that way. And I'm absolutely not upset with that email. I thought it was actually very interesting timing, receiving it on the 1st of January in the new year, especially being a 1 year of new beginning. And but receiving it also from someone who has a limited view of yoga, just like I have a limited view of other religions. So I'm not letting myself make judgments about them, and will not judge whatever they believe. However, my wish is for this year and every year to come that we move into mutual acceptance and respect for whatever we practice wherever we are, without projecting our own fears, because essentially it's a fear and judgment onto others, simply because we don't know, because the judgments and the fear come from a place of not knowing, of not seeing the whole picture, of not having read any scriptures, of not having practiced what we practice. So my wish is really that we all come back to ourselves and work on ourselves in a way that we can allow our own light to shine forth, that we purify this and understand, okay, I am an extension of the light, the great light, the light of all, and so is everyone else. Okay, that was a little bit longer rave than I intended to, but I hope you have a beautiful first day of the new year and a beautiful year. Thank you.